to the Paint, Rest, Repeat podcast with Ros Gervais and
Laura Day, where we chat about our creative lives as artists while keeping it real and a little bit messy.
We're here to inspire creatives just like you to push past those boundaries and make art that you love. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Paint, Rest, Repeat. Today, we are going to be chatting about how to start teaching art for extra income in your art business. I'm excited about this one. How are you feeling, Laura?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. We've been doing some notes beforehand, and
Yay.
yeah, this is going to be really exciting because I think lots of people are interested in this, and especially if you're starting out and you're new and you're wanting to help people and inspire them through the creative process, then yeah, it's just a little bit of an overview of what we've done in our businesses, what's worked, what hasn't, and yeah, it's a good way to create sustainable income for yourself as a creative.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to cover the confidence side of things as well, because for you who are listening, those of you who are listening, does that sound really polite, Laura? For the peoples on the other
all
side?
Our lovely people, our beautiful PRR fans.
If you're brand new to this idea of teaching and you feel like maybe you should try it, maybe it's a good area for you to explore, but you're feeling a little bit nervous, we're going to cover off that confidence side as well today.
Mm-hmm. Because confidence doesn't come automatically.
No, it's true.
Mm-hmm. I've had to build that muscle over time. And if you've never done something before, if it's just sitting in your mind, it can, seem like this big leap and big step to put yourself out there. So we would like to encourage you to take that first step. And I hope by the end of this episode, you are feeling inspired and motivated and confident to really step out there and explore this idea of incorporating art teaching into your business.
You're so well spoken, Laura, because I was just going to say, give it a crack. Give it a crack.
I love that too, though.
Give it a go. So on this topic today, we wanted to start off by chatting about the benefits of having a teaching element in your art business. So it might be, straight out art teaching, or it might be facilitating well-being style sessions through art. So there are a range of different options when we're talking about teaching generally. But the benefit really around introducing this income stream into your business, for me, we can sort of jam on this, Laura, and see what you think as well. But for me, really, it is around creating a business with, what's the word, like stable, predictable, steady, recurring income. Because I feel, this whole idea of having multiple income streams in your business, I just feel like it's smart because it sets your business up to be strong. So if your art sales are down, you can push your teaching a bit more, for example. What other benefits do you see to having teaching in your art business?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Ros. Having that predictable income and using that as, the base to support yourself to grow as an artist and invest in other areas of your business. It has been really helpful for me. But also, it's a really great way to expand your networks and get out there and meet new people, put your work in front of different people's eyes, connect to the local community, and get people aware of what you're doing as an artist.
Yes, so true. This visibility piece, like you may end up selling art, for example, to workshop clients. Like, these things definitely do happen. So the networking, the expanding your reach, increasing your visibility, a lot of benefits there. And you know what, as I was saying that, I was thinking of our listeners some of whom may be feeling like, maybe they're a little bit too introverted, maybe they're shy, maybe they prefer to lay low and all of that. We have some options for them today as well, because you and I have done a lot in terms of teaching over the years.
I know, we were writing a list, and then, I'm going back to 2010. So I'm like listing all the different evolutions of like all the different teaching and workshops and all the things that I've done. And it's amazing to see. And Roz, you've done so much in such, a great way in the online space. So it'd be really good just to sort of talk about both of our experiences because it has been different and similar in some ways. And, we've sort of figured out along the way who we like to work with, what style of workshops we like to do, and all the different things. So it's a really amazing personal development tool or a learning experience as a creative because you get to share your passions with other people, but then you get to try out new ideas and test the market and see what sticks and what doesn't and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty amazing part of the journey, I feel, the teaching side, because it's so connected to the confidence piece. And I don't think you need the confidence, as we mentioned before, to start. You just need the bravery, right? The courage to do the thing.
Yep.
But that confidence grows, and I feel it grows probably faster. Your confidence in general, I feel, grows faster if you have a teaching element in your art business. What do you think? Is that a bit of a big statement? Do you agree?
Yeah, I guess so in a way. Because I guess you're in front of people and like you're presenting and you're creating different experiences for people and it'll be different each time. And like as you repeat it again and again, like you sort of get a bit more clearer around who you are as an artist, how to communicate that to other people, how to break down different processes and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I probably would say that.
Yeah, I guess it sort of forces you to look inwards and to really understand more
Mm.
deeply your
Mm-hmm.
process,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
you make your art and how you create so that you can
Mm-hmm.
share that with others. So, what sort of things have you tried, Laura, in your art business from the get-go in terms of teaching and facilitation?
So many.
We did promise each other, by the way, listeners, we did promise each other that we were not going to list the whole thing because I don't know, estimate we'd be here maybe a week. What do you think?
Yeah, probably.
All right, go share a few. Share
Yeah, I'll
a few
share
of
a
them.
few. But I also would like to circle back to sort of taking into consideration like is the teaching element like right for you, and whether it fits into your art business, if it suits your personality and all of that sort of stuff as well. But how about I give a little overview of the different iterations of teaching and how that sort of has worked for me in my business. So I started off, I specialize in printmaking, so it's totally different, or sort of different to what I'm doing currently. And so I was teaching beginner screen printing workshops. So I had a rental house in Melbourne and I set up my garage as my studio and I invited people in to do in-person workshops with me. So I was doing a beginner's screen printing, like a one-off, try your hand at this, and like a more intermediate, so screen printing, like sort of tailored to like business side. So printing t-shirts and cushions and tea towels and those sorts of things that like people that are wanting to like put their art onto fabrics to sell at markets and all sorts of things. So that's how it initially all started for me. And I think, through teaching that and coming up with the concept, I learned a lot about myself and what I like doing and what doesn't suit me so much. Um, and then, I went on to doing some school holiday art classes, and then I got invited to work with a VCAL class, which is it was like a small business management class. So helping the kids at school develop a small business, and then they went on to like put their works out for sale. And then I've done like one-off workshops, like in different styles, soul medicine painting, the recent gin and painting, which was like a collaboration with like tourism Ballarat. It sort of led into the NDIS one-on-ones and art mentoring and things that I do. And then, even setting up the art program at St. John of God Hospital. Like if I hadn't done all that background work and like run all different sorts of experiences and built that confidence, then it wouldn't have led into like all the different things that I've been invited into, like corporate mindfulness workshops, and then like doing Zoom workshops. Roz, I got invited into your container, and I've been invited into other business containers as well to run mindfulness and art workshops as well. So yeah, it can take on so many different forms and flavors and all of those sorts of things. And now I've launched my art and wellness retreat in Vietnam, but we'll talk about that a bit later.
Yeah, that is like ridiculously exciting, by the way.
It
Absolutely
is.
love this idea.
Yeah, it is so exciting. But I wouldn't have been able to jump like straight into that. Like I think you've got to build up as you go and figure out who you are as an artist, and how you want to serve people, what format you want to serve people, and all of that sort of stuff. And I mean, Rose, you've done so many interesting things in your creative business as well. And it's looked quite different to me as well. Did you want to give an
Yeah.
overview of all the different types of workshops that you've run?
Yep. So my background, if I've got a varied background, but part of my background is that I was a primary teacher for a period of time. So I started from that sort of an angle, and I transitioned into my art business during COVID. So that means that I ran some workshops online through Zoom for kids to help parents out through that sort of COVID period of time. So I did the online kids workshops. I also did some online adult workshops at that point in time as well. After that, COVID all sort of calmed down a little bit, and then I took everything in person. So I've run in-person adult workshops. I've run corporate adult workshops, both online and in person, kids workshops in person, weekly ones, school holiday ones. I was an artist in residence at a primary school teaching whole term art programs as well at one point. I think I said corporate workshops before, being part of a well-being retreat, art society demonstrations that were paid. So I figured that's worth mentioning. Working with adults underneath the NDIS, and a whole lot of things. But I think, I love that I've tried all of these things and that you've done all these things in your business as well, because you get to test, what feels good for you. You also get to test what there is enough interest in, like in terms of running a business and offering your services for a payment of some sort. And you increase that visibility piece while you're at it. So what did you find with some of the things you tried? What worked for you and why as well? Like, how did you know it was working for you?
I love that question, but I also want to mention you didn't
Oh,
mention your beautiful Art for the Heart
oh,
community.
I
And
went
like,
back into my
your passion.
history.
I know. Let's recognize that, because that's
Oh.
like your soul work, and that's
Yes, well, there
exactly
is
like
that.
what you're here to do. And
Yeah.
that's amazing, like the evolution of like going from primary teaching to like kids workshops, and then finding your beautiful community and working with them and mentoring them. So, but
Yeah.
anyways, what's worked for me and what hasn't in terms of workshops? Well, I have a chronic illness, so over the years, I got invited to do screen printing workshops, which meant packing my car. It was a Subaru back then. And yeah, it had a big boot, and I was able to like cram in all my supplies and go to other people. And I got burnt out so easily, because teaching a full day workshop, that's exhausting in itself. But think about, yeah, all the, physical labor in terms of like packing your car and going to this thing and then down packing. So yeah, I've learned that limited supplies and like smaller things to pack if I'm going to an external venue, that is really good for my body and my energy. I found the shorter styles of workshops work better for me. So, like 2 hours is a really nice amount of time. to do a session. And I feel like people get enough of a taste for the experience, and they get, that transformation in a short amount of time. So I think, over the course of teaching workshops, I found that works well. Collaboration is really amazing as well. So thinking about organizations like schools or local councils, anywhere where groups of people commune, that could be a good place to pitch a workshop. Corporate as well. They've got budgets, and you can get a nice chunk of money from that sort of work. What else? Oh, what hasn't worked in the past? I realized along my journey that my ideal client was not the school holiday program and kids in primary school. I love kids. I've got special little kids in my life through my friends. They've got little people. I appreciate kids' curiosity, spontaneity, like the joy of experiencing the world. It's beautiful.
You just don't want to herd cats. Is this what you're saying? This is what I feel like you're saying. I'm not talking from experience at all, Laura. None at all.
So some people are just totally invested in that development of these young, beautiful minds. And those art teachers are really amazing, special people, because they could be the catalyst to these children pursuing creativity for the rest of their lives.
Teaching art in schools, Laura, is very, very hard. So I've done the kids in school, and I've done the kids outside of school in almost like, what's the word? Like the situation where they are booking tickets to come along. So they have opted in, they want to be there. But teaching art in schools, particularly hard.
Yeah. Actually, I have a similar experience. So when I was running the art program at the hospital, we would invite the patients in, and we had to explain the benefits of art and why it would be amazing for them to come along to the session, and instead of sitting in their rooms, like just come, have like conversations with other people. We're creating art together, and there was so much resistance, and it took like a lot of coaxing to actually get people to the sessions. Whereas other group workshops that I've run, like my beautiful mindfulness workshops, the soul medicine painting, the more community-based workshops that I go out to the public, they've opted in. So they've chosen to come do a creative session, unleash their creativity, have some fun, and try something new. So there is like a different energy isn't there?
Yeah, and it's the ideal client concept versus the any old client. Like let's not do anything in our art businesses generally for any old client. Let's do it for our ideal person. Let's make life easy on everyone.
Exactly. Yeah. And so can you think on your journey, like what has worked and what hasn't worked for you?
Yeah, so mine's a trickier one because I'm a yes person. In case if you're new to our podcast, that's my middle name. Yes. So, what did not work? For me, the teaching in primary schools didn't work for me because I was trying to shift from primary. I was trying to shift from that, and yet I found myself back there. So that definitely didn't work for me. It just the wrong vibe for me personally. I'm looking at my list, by the way. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't mean to be rude. I'm looking at my list. That one didn't work for me. I felt, in truth, I feel like my corporate workshops online didn't work for me because there's not enough connection. I'm about the impact, and I want to really see people light up. And I think that was really, really hard for me. But what I did find worked for me out of all of these things is the serving adult artists that's what lights me up, because I'm more than the art for me. I'm around the empowerment piece and helping people to tap into their potential And that's what really, really lights me up. And so that's why this huge list of all the things I've tried has now really honed down into art for the heart and art business coaching. Really, primarily, that's my passion area. So that and it's taken all of these experiences for me to realize that, you know.
Yeah. Another thing I'm thinking as you're talking though, I also don't want to discourage people from teaching the kids classes because they're much needed and there is money there. Especially if you're in a community, you might be in an area of the world where there's no access to this extracurricular art education for kids. So it can be quite lucrative for people to run after school art classes and school holiday programs as well. So yeah, I don't want to discourage people from that, especially if you're starting out and you want to like put in the hours to like test things out. I think it's just like from personal experience, from like Roz and my perspectives, we do love working with adults. We do love nurturing people's creativity, and especially like around the art mentoring and coaching side of the business. Like we want to empower women through art predominantly. So,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
us.
Yeah, and that's our calling, and that's fine. But yes, I do have a lot of experience with the kids' art workshop. So even currently, I still run my term program, my after-school art program for kids, and that's just one afternoon a week. And I run a school holiday art program as well. So it's very compact. It's only 2 days every school holidays at this point in time. But yeah, definitely, I've pushed that in terms of scalability before, and I've had to turn it down. So I know there's opportunity to make that a stronger income stream in my business, but it's not as aligned as the other areas of my business. So I've turned that down. But just to, highlight what you were saying, there is a lot of potential in there as an income stream. So if that feels really good for you as a listener and that aligns with your values and you have the energy for it as well, then yeah, definitely a really, really good area to look at.
And also like thinking about it from like a gratitude perspective as well, having those kids classes in the mix as part of your income stream has enabled stable income for you to expand and grow as a creative. And then now you're evolving and shifting and changing things in your business, so it can be that avenue that allows you to let go of your part-time work. It can be the avenue that allows you to invest more money in your growth as an artist and learn new techniques, skills, or get some coaching. We know some really good art mentors and coaches, don't we, Roz?
Well, we do. I know at least two.
Yeah, so then you can be grateful for this regular recurring income stream that can pay the bills, that can buy you art supplies, that can do all these amazing things for you to invest in your creativity, and you can let go of stuff that's not serving you. But then also like you can have a part-time job that you enjoy that supports your art as well, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, that one I absolutely love. I sound like I'm disagreeing with you, but what I mean is no, there's nothing wrong with that. I totally agree. I love going around normalizing that. I think for a lot of people, they worry that if they have a day job, they're not a real artist. You have to be a full-time artist to be a real artist, and that's not true. I think if you have a day job or an alternate income source, you're a smart artist. That's my take. Sensible artist.
I love that. Yeah.
All right. So we've talked a little bit about some of the things, like I feel like we could probably go on for longer about some of the things that we've done in our businesses in terms of teaching, facilitating, coaching, and all of that jazz. We do so much stuff. But what do you think there is in terms of like a mantra or a mindset in regards to, trying these sort of options? We've got listeners that might be thinking about getting this, going in their art practice, and they're wondering, is it right for them? And, some mindset sort of hacks, perhaps.
Yeah, I would say just to start, give it a go. I think that's what you said at the start of the episode, didn't you? Like, Give it
Can't
a go.
remember. Oh yeah, that's right. Give it a go. Give it a crack. Give it a crack.
I'll give it a crack. But yeah, I would say start small. So even if it's in your lounge room, even if you've got a space, or you could maybe a friend has a space somewhere in your community, and I would make it really comfortable for yourself. Write a little outline of what you imagine the day or the schedule of the workshop would be, how many hours, intro, plan out the timestamps and things. And then I'd just start small. You could probably invite like some friends of friends. Like I had relatives in my first screen printing sessions, and I did it pro bono, and then they gave me feedback, and then I had a little testimonial slip that they could write testimonials and all of that, and we got photographs and everything. So that was a really great way to make a start, get some feedback, and that it's with people that you already have relationships with, so it can be quite comfortable.
I also just wanted to chuck in a reference over to episode 52 of the podcast, where we talk about why you should include art workshops in your artist income streams. And we go into a little bit more detail there on the workshop topics. So go and feel free to have a listen to that one as well. Yeah. All right.
What would your mantra be? Like, what would you encourage people with if they sort of thinking about this as an idea, but then they're like, oh, I don't know if I should do it or not?
I think if you're feeling called to, so if it's an idea and your ears are sort of pricked up and you're thinking about it, I would definitely say to give it a go and try it on for size, essentially. And then to look at it through those two sort of filters. So one, what feels good in terms of teaching kids or adults or whatever it is, what feels good. And then see what there's a market for. So what people actually sign up for and buy a ticket to as well. So it's that double sort of lens, those two things at the same time.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Now, oh, the other one as well, sorry, was just wanted to drop in really quickly. I do have a lot of people in my world, artists in my world, who will be thinking about this workshop piece, but feel like they don't have enough skills or they're not good enough at what they're doing with their art in order to teach it. And this fact always blows people's minds. So I thought I should just share it here in case we have people thinking the same thing, which is that you actually only need to be 10% ahead of the people who you are teaching. So if you're feeling particularly nervous about teaching art, you might start by teaching kids. You might start by teaching, a complete beginner class in watercolors or whatever it is, so that you can be comfortable and confident.
Good job, Roz.
Just coined that word, everybody. Confident. Anyway.
So 10% better, guys. 10%. I think that's good. Yeah, that is really good advice. And it's like something that can you can just recall when you're having those doubts or second guesses. So in terms of, we just wanted to gently touch on how to launch and market and all of that sort of stuff. But we're actually going to record another episode on this because this one's been going for nearly half an hour, hasn't it already?
Panic. Yeah. Quick, Raj, talk faster.
So, I think it's just general advice. So having an email list, gathering names, creating posters, getting into Canva, creating like a nice little Instagram tile to promote your workshops, connecting with your local community. And then, just thinking about other places that you could collaborate or sort of pitch ideas to get, your workshop concept off the ground. What would you say, Roz?
All of that. You did great. That's great. I feel like all of those things, I think in this future episode, we're going to really dive into this whole idea to reality sort of concept. So you have an idea for something to launch or start in your art business, and then how to get that off the ground, even, how to test the market first, do a little bit of research, put those feelers out, and then get the start, and then potentially even how to grow that and how to dial that up as well into a sturdy, steady, resilient income stream as well. So yeah, we'll dive into that one in a future
Mm.
episode.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So hey, let us know, lovely listeners, if that episode would be of interest to you. And also let us know if this episode and all the tips and our stories and our experiences is helpful for you too.
We're going to keep on chatting because I wanted to actually quiz you, Laura, on how you are marketing your upcoming art retreat. But before we do that, if you beautiful listeners are enjoying the episode so far, drop in a testimonial for us over on Apple Podcasts or give us 5 stars, pretty please, for good karma on Spotify so that we can reach even more beautiful artists and help them on their journeys. So, Laura, you have this art retreat coming up. Firstly, what is it? Because our audience may or may not have already heard of it.
Yeah. Oh, so it's so exciting. Talking about like getting an idea off the ground. To be honest, I couldn't completely just jump into launching a retreat without all the background work that I've done in teaching workshops. So it's taken a while to get to this point and have the confidence to put it out there. But it's called the Ignite Creative Wellness Retreat. So it's a beautiful experience for beginner creators, curious creatively curious people. You don't have to be an artist to attend, but also, you know, all levels of experience are welcome. So it's a beautiful 6-night, 7-day adventure to my favorite place in Vietnam, Hoi An, which is a gorgeous UNESCO city. It has beautiful lantern lined streets and this amazing energetic vibe. It's going to be like such a gorgeous event. So we'll incorporate massages and meditation on the beach, chilling out on beach lounges. We're going in March 2025, which is a beautiful time, like probably the perfect time weather-wise. And where I've got creative sessions planned for the duration of the retreat. There's also lots of downtime, free time, because I'm very conscious and aware of different people's energetic capacity or whether they're an introvert and, you know, they'd like to do things solo and all of that. So yeah, it's a really flexible schedule. We will be doing some personal introspection and journaling and work on ourselves. And by the end, hopefully you're feeling like refreshed and reset and you've had this break away from your life, and you're ready to like step into like the new version of yourself with inspiration and motivation. And yeah.
It sounds amazing, Laura. And see, well, like, so I'm listening to this. I guess there's two lenses here. Again, I'm obsessed with lenses today, evidently. But one is, some of our listeners might want to come along and join the retreat. And so we'll share your link in a bit. But also, we might have listeners who want to start a retreat and offer it themselves as well. So I think that's an interesting one. Like in all you're talking right now about the retreat, you've put so much thought into designing something that is perfect for your ideal client. This planning piece is really, really important. But also I'm just going to do it. It's just going to happen and I'm just going to do it because, you've put money behind this already, haven't you?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, once you've got to decide. You can't just sit on the fence and just be like, oh, maybe. Like, I think you just have to decide, and then you just do whatever it takes to make it work.
Yeah, it's happening, full stop. And
yeah,
that's how it
exactly.
goes. And with the marketing, like how are you actually marketing the retreat?
So obviously on my socials, so I created a wait list through my email list. So we got some VIPs to get the early bird offer. And by the time that this is released, the early bird offer is still available. It's until the end of July. So you still get a chance, and I've broken down some payment plans as well. So go to the website to check it out. I'll give you the URL in a minute, and it'll be in the links of the show notes as well. So socials, sharing on stories, doing like a promo clip for this podcast, talking about it today on the podcast. I am also, doing email campaigns. So I collected a wait list first, and then I also it's going out to my general list as well. Creating event listings on Facebook, Eventbrite. There's a Retreat Guru website as well. Like there's a few different like general website listings that you could spread the word on. I've put things into expat groups in Facebook as well, so inviting expats along to join the experience. There's a few things that's just front of mind of different ways that I'm promoting the retreat.
But just awesome, it's like, this is the idea. You've been wanting to do it for years. So this is the idea. This is how it's going to look. It is happening. And this is how I'm going to get the word out. Really, that's what it is. And then you keep on getting the word out until bookings close, essentially. Like that's how the marketing works. Bleeping amazing. And I'm actually really hoping I could come. I'm already begging the husband. I'm like, please.
Yeah, I know that's the thing with like making space with tiny families as well, like just making sure that their needs are met. It can be like a little bit I mean, that's why I made it in March. Well, for Australia, we're 2 weeks in after the summer holidays, so I feel like kids are settled back into school routine, and your significant other or someone can like take the care of the children for just a week out of your life, and then you can invest in yourself. And
it's a good Christmas present too, by the way, just to interject.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, a great Christmas present. Are people thinking about Christmas presents in July? I don't even know.
I'm not sure, but it's in March, right? So like you could give a little bit of a, like, I know, when do bookings close? End of July?
Yes, so the bookings don't close, the price just goes up. So I've got an early bird special. So I'm not closing the cart. People will be able to buy right until the end of the year. But I do only have 10 spots, so it is limited. So I would encourage you to have a look at it as soon as possible and figure out how you're going to make it work.
I totally go down the Christmas route, like just saying. Yeah, for people who want to attend, like just lay that on.
Well, I might think
the
about
husband
like
or other special person.
If we do have tickets left, like nearing that time, I might do a special Christmas special. How about that?
I like this idea.
Exclusive.
Podcast listeners only.
But don't hold out until that though, because the early bird price is really good, and you get a lot of value for the experience. So it's going to be truly special.
So it is actually 100% true. Like, I mean, Laura firstly is an honest person, but secondly, when she says that you get a lot of value, it is incredibly, I can't even believe all the things you're offering is this retreat, Laura, and the price point. So the way I see it, this is like the only time you're ever going to go on a retreat like this with Laura at this sort of a price point, because after this, I'm going to be hammering her and telling her that she needs to double the prices next time.
It's definitely an introductory price, because 100%. I've never launched an international experience. I've only done workshops here locally in Australia. So it is a very affordable, high value price for what you get, because I have looked in the market, and I have seen the average price for retreat experiences. So I just wanted to make it like really approachable for people at this point in time.
So I actually did that recently, changing topics here. Oh, wait, firstly, if anyone wants to jump on board to your retreat, or, have a look at your page, see how you set it up, how do they get onto how do they book? Find the details.
So go to laurajaneday.com/retreat. You can also go to my Instagram, Laura Jane Day, and then there will be a link in there. And you can join my mailing list as well. So that's just through my website. So just get your name on that list, and then you can be updated with everything that's happening in terms of that experience.
So it doesn't feel as important. But I was just going to say really briefly, in case anyone was hanging out for what I was going to say, was that only fairly recently did I research my competitors in terms of my Art for the Heart membership, and I realized I was majorly underpricing. So yeah, just for our listeners on this topic of workshops and things, research your competitors and just understand the lay of the land. That can help with your pricing as well.
Actually, we never really touched on that. But I think the previous episode that we did on workshops, we did break down the prices. But let us know too, like we might be able to, in the next episode that we're talking about, you know, developing that spark of idea and you know, putting it out into the world. We might be able to break down that in terms of workshops and prices and things like that.
Yeah, I was just even thinking on pricing, you know, it also depends on the role of that income stream in your business. So if you're introducing workshops as the part of your business that's going to give you the stability, you've got to charge a decent price for it. Otherwise, it's not going to give you that stability. So just understanding the purpose of it in your business.
Talking about income streams, Roz has an Artist Evolution Challenge coming up, which is a 5-day online event. And this sounds super exciting. And is a challenge free, Roz?
Yes, I only seem to do free challenges. I don't know why. And I also put like way too much effort into these things. I do a lot of, I over-engineer everything I've worked out. I've been doing a bit of reflection, Laura.
You just love to serve, like you just want to give to the people and help people and reach lots of people and
not give them fluff. Like I think that's part of how I operate. Like I want to give people actually help people and give them some proper content to shift them forward. So a free challenge is not going to, you know, iron out absolutely everything in your art business because that's impossible in a 5-day period. But there is a lot of juicy content in this one. So yeah, really excited. So it's called the Artist Evolution Challenge. I have run it twice before. However, this is secretly the Artist Evolution Challenge 2.0. I love the little saying though. Have you heard this before, Laura? I'm sure you have, that it's new and improved, because how can something be both new and improved? Do you know, Laura?
I think you refine the process over time, new and improved.
It just makes me giggle every time I redesign something or like improve something. I'm like, is it new or is it improved? I can't say either. Anyway, so it's 2.0. So it's been shifted a little bit. I did actually chuck a couple of polls into my free Facebook group, Permission to Paint, over on Facebook, to ask people what they wanted to learn most at the moment. And so basically I've taken that feedback and everyone's thoughts and integrated that into this latest version of the Artist Evolution Challenge. So yeah, totally free, 5 days, run online. Anyone can participate. We're going to be covering things like your direction in your art business, the mindset side of things, best income streams for artists in 2024, understanding your soulmate buyer, how to find them, get your work and your offerings in front of them, how to increase your visibility, and also how to build your support network so you can go the distance in your art business, because we always talk here about the long haul in a positive way, but we are artists for life. So how to maintain that beautiful artist sparkle over time. So yeah,
this
really
sounds amazing. It sounds so good, Roz, and like so in alignment with our conversation today too, because we have been talking about, you know, that ideal buyer, figuring out like what suits you in terms of workshops, and you know, just figuring out like your direction and like what role that the workshops are going to play. I know, you know, we talked about this as like a sole income stream for this particular episode, but in your challenge, you're going to be talking about even more income streams for artists as well, and different things for them to consider too.
Yeah, and how to choose the best ones for you and your art business as well. So I've got a couple of powerful pointers planned for the challenge. So yeah, it's going to be really good. And I also like to build up a whole lot of community excitement with my challenges as well. So they all happen inside the free Facebook group that I mentioned before. And I think we already have about 2,000 members inside there. So there's a lot of excitement, a lot of community, a lot of camaraderie as well. So yeah, it's fun. It's a week of fun, a week of progress as well. And we kick off on Sunday, July the 28th. And it's all online. And
yep, great.
anyone can join.
And so how do people join? Tell us how.
Head over to my website. I have a sign up page. It's at permissiontopaint.co/artist-evolution. Is that too long, Laura?
It's fine. We're going to have the link in the show notes anyway. So you'll be able to do like a quick link. And then I'm sure on your Instagram as well, you've got a way that people can just like click through and pop their names in. So they've got a seat to your amazing 5-day challenge.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, amazing. I know they're just going to get so much value out of that. And just being with other creatives in that space will be really inspiring as well.
And, talking about running challenges as well, because, some of our listeners might want to run a challenge themselves. I think I started running challenges maybe 2 years ago now. I was trying to remember this a while ago, and I just started. There was no pre-design, very limited pre-design going on. It was like imperfection epitomized. But it's just doing the thing, trying it, seeing how it feels, asking people what they enjoyed about the experience, and then doing more of that essentially. So
amazing.
All of these ideas.
Yeah, give it a go. Possible. Give it a crack.
Give it a crack. Maybe I wonder if that.
I know. Title. Maybe.
How to give workshops a crack in your art business. That'll be really good for SEO.
And if you're an international listener, I don't know, is that Aussie slang? Probably.
I think it is. I think that means something else, doesn't it? Or is that Aussie as well? Anyway,
I mean, we already said give it a go. So I guess that's the translation for the international listeners. This has been fun.
Just end on a crazy note. All good. It's all good. So that's it. So looking forward to the next episode. So we're going to chat about this whole idea to reality concept, getting an idea off the ground, because I don't know, it's fun, isn't it? Art business is fun and creative, and we should be experimenting and trying new things and evolving. One of my favorite words at the moment. So
amazing. Yeah. Well, shall we close up this convo?
Sounds good. So if you did enjoy the episode, I've already asked for a testimonial, but send us a DM, say hi. We actually have over on Instagram a dedicated broadcast channel for Paint, Rest, Repeat listeners. So if you are not yet in that particular broadcast channel, head over to Laura's Instagram, head to her bio and click the relevant button to join the chat over in Insta DMs. But otherwise, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.